Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to Hendy Performance in Eastleigh. Now, my Mustang Mach-E Long Termer from Hendy's needs to come into the garage for a little bit of work, but I'm also going to do some modifications to it as well. And while I'm here, take a look around Hendy Performance, because not only do they do some awesome stuff with Mustangs, they're also a Lotus dealer and they have some mega used car stock. So yes, Hendy Performance have an amazing collection of technicians and mechanics that do all kinds of crazy things to cars. I've done videos here with some of their courtesy cars. The HP 500 Focus is still one of my favorites, and that absolutely crazy modified Fiesta. Now behind me you can see I've already bought my Mach-E. It's just about to be worked on, but there's a whole bunch of Mustangs being worked on behind me. And they do not only servicing and so on for all the performance cars that are sold within Hendy's, but they'll do lots of modification stuff as well. And that's the kind of thing that you might do if you owned a Mustang. Well, I've kind of got my Mustang Mach-E, so what are we up to today? Now, if you own a normal Mustang with a proper engine in it, you may well be familiar with the company Steeda, who have a huge range of performance bits for Mustangs. In fact, a few years ago, I actually drove a Mustang on the channel that had all of the Steeda performance kits on. An absolutely sensational thing. Looked amazing, sounded amazing. Well, I've been running a Mustang Mach-E, which I know for many is a car that probably shouldn't hold the name Mustang. But I got contacted by the guys at Steeda and they said, we are actually starting to do some performance enhancement bits for Mach-E's. Would you be interested in fitting a strut brace to your Mach-E? It will help the front end handling, and it's a pretty powerful car. It's a very heavy car as well. And I said, well, yeah, sure. Don't think I've ever really seen very much EV modification stuff online before. So here's the strut brace. Now, I have to say, this is something that even with my limited engineering and mechanical skills, I could probably fit at home myself. However, interestingly, the Mach-E has had a fault on it for the last few weeks, and it needs to have a part replaced, which is a fairly big job. You need to go up underneath the car, remove the battery pack, change a couple of bits. So it needed to come in for some work anyway. And while it's in, I thought I'd get the professionals here at Hendy Performance to fit the strut brace. So I'm going to get Kevin to fit it for me, because he'll make a much better job of it than I will. So we've opened up the front boot. The strut brace is going to go from left to right turret here, but there's a whole bunch of plastic work in the way which needs to be removed first of all. It's a very proper sounding Mustang just arrived as well. So first things first is to remove a whole bunch of plastics. Yeah. This one's running about 800 horsepower apparently. Proper Mustang. Definitely the bit, if I'd done it myself, I'd be like worried about clips snapping off. There we go. So now all the plastic's off. You can actually see there is already a strut brace on the car, but the Steeda one's a little bit more beefy. You can see it's just got a single mounting there, whereas we're going to use those 3 mounting points on each side for the Steeda one. And the Steeda one just looks a little bit more heavy duty. There you go. now this last piece of trim is going back on. The strut brace is fitted. It took about 20 minutes and you can't actually see it. Apart from, if you look really carefully, you can kind of see it through those louvres. Now I know that was hardly taxing car modifications. I could have definitely done that job myself. Although I think the most difficult bit was probably taking all the plastic trim off without snapping off the clips. Now I think that's Steeda's first foray into the world of modifying bits for the Mach-E, and there was already a strut brace on the car. The Steeda one is far more heavy duty. It's got 3 mounting points rather than just 1 on each end. I'm not so sure how much I am going to notice the difference on the public road. I think if you're really pushing on, it's a very heavy car when you're going into corners and so on. I think you might just feel that extra stiff front end. I think if you had something like the Mach-E GT with the extra performance, I'm pretty sure that would be a much more sensible modification. Now, the car's now going to stay here at Hendy Performance in Eastleigh because it now needs some work doing. It's had a fault on it for the last few weeks, and that fault to be repaired basically needs the whole battery pack removing. So the car will be jacked up, the battery pack drops out the bottom of the car, they can make the modifications or the changes and then put everything back. And that's quite a lengthy job. So I'm going to have to come back tomorrow to collect the car. But interestingly, talking to Kev, who's going to be doing the work, one of the things they're going to do as well is do a complete software update on all the battery management system, and I should hopefully get maybe a little bit more range and a bit more usability out of the car. And also because I've been running on a reduced power mode for the last few weeks, it will be great to be able to go back into untamed mode, and on the way home tomorrow maybe try out that strut brace. But while we're here, there's some really, really nice stuff in here. Proper Mustangs with, you know, engines in them and everything. So this absolutely stunning Mustang is now outside, having had a little bit of minor stuff done to the suspension. Now I'm just talking to the owner literally just before I'm filming this, and this car, we're going to get it on the channel because it's just awesome, absolutely awesome. I'm not going to give any specs or any of the details about the car now. Safe to say it's running about 850 horsepower, but it just sounds amazing at startup. It's got this really cool Ken Block tribute wrap on it, and basically it's just a cool thing. Look at that front splitter. Oh wow. So yes, this Mustang will be coming to the channel very, very soon. Now, if you look through that window, you can actually see Kev working on my car, but I wanted to come through to the Lotus side of things. Now, I've been coming here to Hendy Performance in Eastleigh for a long time, before it was a Lotus dealership. And actually, the last time I was here, they were still getting the showroom ready and there were no cars here at all, but it's finished now and there are cars on display, and it's a very, very cool place. Firstly, I love this configuration area, although it is quite dangerous because you've got this fantastic display where you can go on and start to configure either your Emira, your Electra, or if you're really loaded, an Avaya. But that's very, very cool. And then just from a car point of view, they've got some lovely cars on display. Some of them are customer cars that are being looked after, and some of them are cars that you can actually buy like that. I'm not going to even be tempted. It's absolutely stunning. I could buy a little bit of merch over here, some nice jackets. Might be having a chat with John to see if any of those need to be tested out. But yeah, no, it's a very, very cool space. Now, this Lotus Emira just here is actually their demo car, and I'm quite surprised it's in here because it's been pretty busy recently. They can't get enough of it. Customers are coming in, especially those that have had an Emira on order. They want to come in, they want to test the car. We've got lots of customers getting their build slots, and even car deliveries are taking place now. Stunning, stunning car, yet to drive the Emira. But for now, I'm going to basically get in my courtesy car, drive home, and then come back tomorrow, and we'll pick up this video tomorrow when I pick up the Mustang and I'll drive it home. And firstly, I can't wait to get full untamed mode again, but also see if I can feel any difference with that strut brace. But yes, I'm going to go home now, get a cup of tea. There you go, it's now the next day and my Mach-E's all sorted. Turn it on and head home. Now, talking to Kev, the technician that did the work, as I said, that was a big job. That was a, oh, music off. That was a full battery pack out to replace a few parts and then battery pack back in. But at the same time, what they've done is a complete software update. And there have been quite a few updates since the car was made around battery efficiency and battery management. And the really interesting thing, when I arrived, so it's not been charged, the battery pack, so it's still got 67%, which is how much charge it had when I got here yesterday. But I only had about 120, 130 miles yesterday. Now it's showing 209 miles. So the range, and that's not, I've not adjusted the, you can reset the driving history and then that just goes back up to the theoretical maximum. That's with my driving history. So I should be looking at a much better range just because of this new software, which is really cool. So what we need to do is get on some roads just to see if I can feel any difference with this strut brace, but that won't be for a little while. Well, at least not until I've left Eastleigh. But always good to visit my friends at Hendy Performance. As I said, they're a real bunch of specialist guys. So if you have a Mustang, Steeda have a whole range of performance enhancement parts for Mustang, and Hendy Performance are a Steeda dealer, so you can deal directly with Hendy and they can bring in Steeda parts and fit them for you. It's rather enthusiastic Civic. And then also they do performance for other pits. So Ford, they're very well known for Ford and all the mount tune stuff. If you've watched the HP 500 and HP 250 videos of their amazing courtesy cars, so they do some really cool stuff. And then the newer bit of the business, which I really like, is the used car. They've got some fantastic used car stock, and they're now looking after Mokes as well. The Mokes have come from Poole up here, so I will be getting into an electric Moke once the weather gets a little bit better. But hopefully once these traffic lights change to green, God, been here for ages, we'll go and find some nice twisty roads and see if I can feel the difference in this strut brace. Now, as we're about to get on the motorway, let me just quickly go into untamed mode. I've not actually been able to go into this mode for the last few weeks because the car's been in a lower power safety setting because of the issue with the battery, so I've not been able to tap into its full performance, which is a shame, because when you do press the squirt pedal on these, it makes a great noise, but it's also very quick. So yeah, it's great to finally have all of the performance back on the Mach-E. It has been sadly missed, but I don't think I'm going to test this strut brace very well on a motorway, to be fair. I don't know whether it's kind of like one of these psychosomatic things. The front end does feel a little bit stiffer, but that's just over potholes and things. And honestly, in the type of driving I've got between here and the house, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fully put this to the test. Maybe that will be mentioned in another video. But let's get nearer home and get some twisty roads. Welcome back, untamed mode. It does make a great noise. So I'm now on a bit more of a, I don't know, fun twisty bit of road, and I kind of forgotten, because I haven't really driven the Mach-E in anger for a while. I've forgotten how sprightly it is, and certainly it's not, with it being quite a big format, you wouldn't think it goes that quickly down a B road, but it does. It really does. Brakes are pretty good, lots of regen on there. So let's try and find a little bit of twisty bits down here, hopefully, and we'll see. I honestly think that pull away some mega to really feel a difference with this strut brace on the public road. I'm not sure I'll be able to straight away. But it does feel pretty planted up front, and it's not a particularly sloppy chassis anyway. So, you know, you can really chuck it in and... Yeah, do you know what? Feels pretty good to me. Anyway, I know that was a bit of a mix of a video. I put the details of Hendy Performance and Steeda below. As I said, if you've got a Mustang electric or V8, then they are the people to go to if you want to improve the performance and the handling, for sure. And I know that Steeda do other bits for the Mach-E. They do front and rear anti-roll bars. So they are starting to increase their portfolio of EV performance bits. And also, if you're interested in Lotus or any kind of performance used car, Hendy Performance is the place to go. Anyway, I'm nearly home. I am pleased I've got full-blown Mach-E back after a few weeks of frustrating, underperformance. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film. You take care. Drive safe. It just wants to go. Yeah, these things are good fun. And pretty rapid as well.